and after my recent tweeting, I decided we're not going to talk about Mura.
I don't want to say that word anymore.
Yeah, I know, man. Everyone's like, bloody keep talking about it. It's quite funny. But I sent Bradley a video earlier. It's quite funny. What is up, everyone? Welcome to the 5th episode of the VR CruCast. How you doing? Thank you for joining us in the chat. I do apologise for not getting this show up again to the last hour and a half. It's going to be here. Daniel Kaz, how you doing? He's put Mura already in the chat.
What's that?
Yeah.
We call it like what was that show? Black Mirror? I'm gonna call it Black Mirror.
Oh,
There you go. I love that. Brad, could you please explain to us one more time what? Never mind.
No.
Oh, dude. I want to say first, welcome to my hosts again this week. Look at them; they're all turned up. They're all beautiful, and Roots' beard's here. I love it when Roots turns up. You missed a few. I think you've just played too much World of Warcraft, weren't you, for a little while?
Yeah. So I have coordinated to where I could have my time off from work. Every once in a while, work gets kind of weird. And 2 weeks ago, I just had so much crap going on in my day, like personally, that I was just like, I can't talk about VR.
Yeah.
I just had a lot of weird stuff happening in my life in the last couple months. So hopefully it all evens out.
It's better to walk away, dude, isn't it? And sort it all out and come back again.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So first of all, let's say hello to Wes and Roots from Virtual Strangers. How you doing, dudes?
Doing good, man. Hanging in there. Can't complain. Doing pretty well, actually. Thank you.
Well,
I'm doing good. Dead Cells Castlevania dropped today, and I played it for about 20 minutes. It was really cool.
That is excellent. Can we I've already noticed it. Can we please have some hands up who is using NVIDIA's beta here, please?
I hate when Todd uses it. It's so creepy.
Baby.
Creepy.
Well, I'll say this. I've been using it on every piece of content I've done for about the last month.
Oh.
And this is the second time someone brought it up. So it must be looking weird today.
It doesn't look weird. I think because I kind of studied it for a little while on myself. So I sort of now just know when someone I literally straight away, as soon as you turned your head, no one does that. No one turns their head like that and goes, like that.
All right. Here we go.
But NVIDIA think that you do that. Do you know what I mean? It's quite funny. Next up, we've got Between Realities, Alex and Skiva. How you doing, guys?
Yo,
What's up?
we're
Good
good.
to be here.
We just wrapped season 6. Between Realities just had our finale on Friday, and we're now on a break.
Season 6.
I know.
You've
Can you believe it?
like so many big people from the VR community in there, dude. Like who have been your top people? Because you had Kim Bai on there, didn't you, as well once? And that was like, that was massive.
A couple times, like
We've
3
had Kent
times,
3 times, actually.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh,
I thought you guys were going to say Wes and Roots.
Yeah.
I
I
thought
thought
you were going to say
How many
Matt
times
from
you had me on
PC
there?
VR Gamer. Maybe.
Yeah. So yes, we've had Kent 3 times, and his episodes are always really awesome. You know, it's one thing that he's just so well known and so knowledgeable about VR, but it's another thing entirely with his philosophical perspectives and just the absolute brainiac that he is. Like he's something special for sure. You know what I mean? So he's up there for me. But you know, it's been an amazing ride, to be honest. Like the fact that we've been able to connect with everyone on that show, like not just the Kent Buys and the you know, like your philosophy peoples, but also like every single one of you have all been a guest on our podcast before, you know, like that has helped cement us in our relationships to do stuff like this in the future. So it's just been super awesome. And I like went to go try to figure out how many guests we've had on the show, but realized it was going to take me forever to count. But it's like probably around 150 if I had to guess.
Yeah.
I told Steve the other day
people.
after your show, you know how you're ending a video and like another video pops up, the next one, and it happened to be my favorite VR episode. It's the Blake J. Harris episode.
Oh,
It
nice.
just happened to pop up. It's one of my favorites. I've read that book multiple times, and it's so good.
The History of the Future, man. That is such a good book. Like someday when VR is mainstream and everyone has a headset, I feel like that would make an incredible movie.
Can you talk about that book?
Really,
Because
really
I don't
good.
know what it is quickly.
Oh yeah. So it's all about the beginnings of VR, the beginnings of current day VR, right? From everything that happened with Palmer Luckey, creating the original Rift in a trailer in his parents' driveway, right? And then how it came to be that he hooked up with Carmack and how Facebook bought everything and like just the entire and everything that was happening with Valve at the time too. And just the entire beginning of the VR industry. And he was kind of in there. He was let in to kind of watch everything go down and take notes and interview people during the process. And so he was actually there, like
Wow.
chilling for a
Like-
lot of this stuff. And it was absolutely incredible book.
And what's the
Like
book?
if you want to know like the inner workings, like how it worked with like Brandon Uribe and like all that whole team from those investors that saw what Palmer had built and saw the potential of it, and then seeing the takeover and then like them completely screwing Palmer over and how they basically stole the company from him. We're not stole, but they basically pushed him out the door afterwards. It was just an amazing book.
Isn't
So
that
good.
weird? You see that stuff in films, don't you? You always see that thing of where the guy who's meant to be like the entrepreneur and he makes it all and he's the inventor, then he needs a board of directors and suddenly the board of directors are like, yeah, what you want to do next isn't actually going to make us more money, so we're probably going to get rid of you. Do you know what I mean?
Never go with the board of directors. That's
Right.
that's where you end up when you put the power in somebody else's hands. It always seems to come back and bite people in the ass.
Mhm. When you make your company public and then it's about the profit and not about the
Right.
thing, that becomes an issue if you want to innovate and you're more into making your vision than you are making people money.
I think you could go down the road of that with even restaurants. How restaurants start, chains. Suddenly, that in the beginning they're really special. There's something really good about them, and you go there, then they suddenly become a chain, and slowly the beginning message of how it all started, the reason for it being in purpose, just gets watered down into this is just a cash cow. It's not, you know what I mean?
Yeah. There's a good movie about the founding of McDonald's, actually. I forget what the name of it is. It came out a few years ago, but it was a really good movie. And then it kind of opened your eyes a little bit about the history of Ronald. No, I'm just kidding. No, it's
I think I know what you're on about. I'm pretty sure it's called Golden Arches, isn't it, or something like that?
I don't remember.
Yeah, you just totally guessed for that one. I mean, I'll blame you. It's got
Golden Arches.
sounds
Hey, I'm
good.
there. Sorry,
You know.
I have no idea. Let's welcome our next two guests because obviously, we need to know, what is the book called, please? What is the book called we was discussing?
The History of the Future.
There you go.
By Blake J. Harris, and you
Blake
can
J.
learn
Harris.
about Blake J. Harris on his episode of Between Realities.
I actually asked Palmer Luckey. So I got a chance to meet Palmer
I saw
Luckey
the
at
pictures. Oh my
at
goodness.
CES, right? So he's at the Impact Reality Between Realities party.
Did he have
And
the Bermuda shorts or
He
shirt on?
he had the shirt on and the
Yeah.
shorts on. It looked just like Palmer. I mean, he was typical
Yeah.
Palmer. But like we got a chance to hang with him for a few minutes before it got real busy there, and we were just talking. And I'm like, dude, just tell me, how close is the book to like reality? Like, how close did Blake get it? And he was like 99% there. He's like a couple things, were like a little bit either exaggerated or a couple things were kind of like a little bit misrepresented, but he said he was really damn close. So if you guys want a real account of Palmer Luckey and how Oculus came to be and how Meta took it over, even things like Carmack, like him getting, you want to know like behind the scenes of the friendship between Palmer and Carmack and how that came about and how Carmack made it from ZeniMax over to where there is now, the whole court battle with ZeniMax, and ZeniMax saying that basically Palmer and Carmack stole the ideas of virtual reality and the Rift from them. You know what I mean? That whole backstory was crazy too. It's such a good
Wow.
book, man. Everybody should go. History of the Future by Blake J. Harris. Go watch it or listen to it
I'm gonna
or read it.
I'm gonna actually check that out. That sounds wicked. 'Cause
I want to watch it. I say watch it because it should be a movie.
It will be probably.
GT, next time you're on like a flight over to the States to hang with us, man, you should just grab the audiobook, check it out. It's phenomenal.
I have actually thought about dipping my toes in audiobooks. The only audiobooks I ever did was for cartoons like Brave Star and things when I was a kid, and it would do that when the page needed to be turned. That was the last audio.
Wow.
Yeah, that were the last
Dang.
audiobooks I remember, dude.
You just
Nice.
unlocked like a hidden core memory that I completely forgot about. Oh my
Yeah,
god.
man.
Wow.
Love it.
There was a time when you were innocent. Next up, we have got Eric Masher from Q2C VR Gamer. How you doing?
What's going on, guys? How you doing today?
Very well.
Having a good day. Good day. It's Monday. It's time to rock and roll. That's lots going on in the news world. I love it, man. It was a good time of the year.
Nice. And lastly, but definitely not least, is sadly it's Bradley. How you doing, man?
Good. I'm at the I'm kind of whenever a new hardware comes out, like I'm always in this like sporadic brain mode where like I'm very frustrated because I'm trying to figure things out, and it's like starting to level out like a cliff where I can start relaxing, and like things are getting close, and I just can't wait for all that to be done, and it feels good that it feels a lot closer to being done.
When you say leveling out, does that mean you're finding out the answers to the issues you have and what other issues other people have, and you could, yeah? Okay.
Yeah, I like to treat I like to treat especially this hardware review. This hardware review was kind of like a kind of like a detective investigation, honestly. Like kind of like all the other work I do, and I don't know, it was very frustrating at the beginning because it was just like it just feels, if you just get a lot of good feelings figuring things out, basically. Yeah.
Dude,
Before
whatever.
the show, you mentioned that you were in the headset for 2 hours today. That's interesting. Is that the PlayStation that you were in?
I was, yeah. So yeah, I mean, again, the biggest thing for me is I know I already talked a lot about this, like pretty much the first last week or whatever, but like it really is a headset I have to run at 0% brightness all the time, because it's so much closer to every other headset that's released in terms of like persistence when you run it that way. And that I think that, and you know, I made a tweet yesterday, like I hopped into Song in the Smoke or whatever, and I opened up their settings menu, and they have a software brightness slider. So you can set the like hardware brightness low, and then you can compensate in software for like all the texture colors and everything. So it's almost like that blew my mind. I was like, this is these developers either must have known what was going on and like added this in there, because like it's like saving the hardware, because you get like the true, if you've ever spent time in a Quest 2, an Index, a Vive OG, a Vive Pro, you have a certain standard of motion clarity is what people like to call it. And yeah, if you run that game at like 0% hardware brightness and then bump up the software brightness a little bit, this feels like a headset that this is what it should have been like for me. Like it's just wild. But yeah.
Dang, would you recommend that like if someone out of the box is when they start up their PlayStation VR2 before even launching anything, just immediately turn brightness down?
That's what I'm going to recommend to everyone in my review, literally, because like I finally captured 5 or 6 other headsets all running at 90 hertz and 1000 FPS to show their persistence level. And then I did 0, 25%, and 100% brightness. And 0% brightness on PSVR 2 is only slightly longer than the HTC Vive Pro, another OLED headsets. So again, Sony, I'm spoiling my video, but Sony's basically like prioritizing high
Don't
brightness.
worry, Matt. This will not get as many views as your video.
No, it's okay. No, I want people to know this because I don't want people to get nauseous, because like the first day I plugged in my PSVR 2, I hop into a heavily reprojected game at 100% brightness. I had to take it off in like 35 minutes, like literally. And that terrifies me, because I did a Twitter poll. What game do people want to hop in first when they get their PSVR 2? And it's Horizon Call of the Mountain, the game I got sick in. I don't want people to have that problem. You know, it freaking sucks. So yeah, if I can stop that, people won't listen to me probably. They'll just say I'm like, you know, I'm hating on the device, you know, ruining it. But like, if I can stop even one person from not getting sick in that first experience within 30 minutes, then mission accomplished. It wasn't for nothing. So
well, that was one. Nice. That was one of the topics of today anyway. Was the we don't talk about Mura thing, because what happened recently, and I'm very glad it happened, is that Linus Tech Tips decided to do a video on PlayStation VR2, and he played Gran Turismo and he played Horizon. And I think I've worked out his little formula where he'll come out the gate with something controversial and negative, only to then get ready to bring something out positive later on. So basically, he gets double the views, and also gets the message out he originally wanted to get out, I guess. Because he does like VR. He does like VR. I know he does, which is great. And he never mentioned Mura at all. And some people are like, oh, I think this video's been paid for by PlayStation. I was like, no, dude, like this guy is all about sponsorships. Like, you know about it 100%. And they're like, why is he wearing a PlayStation hat? I'm like, well, I've got a fucking PlayStation hat. I've got a jacket. I've got a hat and a fucking jacket. I've got socks. I could put the whole outfit on, but that doesn't mean anything. So yesterday I made a tweet basically defending him, because if he played Gran Turismo and Horizon, I didn't personally notice the Mura thing until Kayak. Now, bear in mind, I played Horizon for like 30 minutes. Gran Turismo 30 minutes, just looking around. And it was Kayak that made my eyes go, what the fuck is that? Like, I've not seen that before. And then suddenly it's like things have been shown, you know, it's a bit hard to unsee it again. So that's all I said yesterday. And then this guy, I don't know who he is, I can't remember his name, but he was basically, he basically said, well, if everyone stopped fucking talking about Mura, maybe everyone could enjoy their PlayStation VR2s. And I was like, I don't see how not talking about it or talking about it changes the enjoyment, because it's a real thing that is there. And I'm just going to quickly, before I chuck this out, I said this last week and I said this in my tweet. I think it was Skiva or Root said they played Resident Evil 8 and they saw it all the time. And I didn't. And I'm like, that's fucking awesome. I'm so glad that I just didn't notice it that time. And it's not really bothering me now either. You know, there's other things bothering me more than Mura now. So yeah.
And I also think there's like also, I'm not saying everyone, but there might be people in the community that is confusing the Mura with some actual screen door effects, because we learned that it's diamond pentile layout of pixels. So like if you are, for example, in a very blue environment, the way that diamond pentile is rendered is they're actually sharing some subpixels across the entire resolution of the eye, which means there's actually less blue subpixels than like red or green, for example. So if you're in a very blue environment, like maybe, I don't know, I can't think of one in my head, but
Water.
like water. Yeah, if you're in water, you will notice
Kayak.
more screen door effect because they have to light up all the blue pixels and less of the other pixels. So you're gonna notice the weird patterning more. So there's a lot of things that just this headset has that there's reasons why people switch to different technologies over the years, but it doesn't mean that you should hate your headset. If you're having a good time, obviously it doesn't matter what technical people are saying about it. It's just
Exactly.
you know,
It's subjective too, right? I think it's subjective. Like what one person sees, the other person doesn't see. Just in this panel right here of people, I guarantee we're going in and seeing it in different spots, maybe, or some are seeing it and not seeing it. Because I know that between me, Roots, and Wes, we had different experiences in different games. So I guarantee it's just your eyes are different, or your brain is different, or just it detects things differently. And here's the deal with Linus too. I guarantee Linus isn't going in and playing 4 hours of Gran Turismo. He's not going in and playing 4 hours of Horizon. You don't see it everywhere. You don't see it in every scene. You have to be like, if he spent hours in each game, he would have saw it. But if he is spending a half hour doing this or that, or he's maybe jumping back and forth between, he talked about 2 separate games, but he might have played 15 minutes of 7 different games and just never saw it. So I don't think that he saw it and was like, oh, I can't talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, another one is, again, I like Linus. I watch some of his videos, but like another thing about those giant channels is you never know if the person reviewing the product actually touched it or if he's reading off a script of someone else on his team.
He is the face, isn't he? He is the face. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So it's a lot of weird. Yeah.
Do you know
Watch
what-
VR channels only. If you love VR, watch VR channels only. All these people here only watch us. Okay.
There you go.
It's very
Have you guys rolled the credits on Horizon Call of the Mountain?
Yes.
Wes has. I haven't
Yes. I have.
Nice,
Cool.
Love
Wes. Let us know,
I love it
man.
so
What
much.
happened? How long did it take, and how was it?
It took me, I didn't time it out. I didn't like intentionally time it out, but what I can say is it took me 6 settings, multiple hours in each one. So at minimum 12 hours, probably closer to 13 or 14 for me.
Dude. And did you have an amazing 13 to 14 hours?
Yes, I loved it. The game continually gets better all the way to the end. Every chapter is better than the last one, and the final one, man, is just amazing. It has the Uncharted VR vibes are just so heavy in that last level. I absolutely love it.
I saw and I think someone didn't believe Bradley when he said this. He said it was either his first or second best VR game.
Second
Best
behind Half-Life. Yeah.
behind
Alan.
Half-Life. And how did people react to that for you?
How dare you even
How
put it in the
dare
same
you.
sentence?
How dare you?
I'm still kind of shocked about the reaction, but so many people called it a tech demo and then proceeded to call Alex a tech demo, and my brain was just like, I don't know what's going on in the world anymore.
That's I mean, a tech demo for 13
any
hours.
game
and-
is a tech demo if you want to
Yeah.
start
Technically.
doing that.
If
Yeah.
you're calling
know.
Half-Life Alex a tech demo, it
That's
just
fucking
means you've only
insane.
been through the first level, or you just suck at life. I
All
don't
you
know.
did was just you just got the bottles and just tipped the liquid up.
Yeah.
He wrote on the chalkboard.
That
of
was
the,
just
the
flexing, that update.
easel.
That's all that was. That was just flexing. Like, that was
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah, I love
These
Call of the
must-
Mountain. I rolled those
Yeah.
credits also, and I feel like Half-Life Alex and Call of the Mountain. There they are. You know, like
So
if you want to have legit
Wow.
VR, there you go.
Wow.
Which
Man,
game
now
was
I'm
harder?
stoked.
Skeever,
thinking
have you
it was
done it?
harder.
Skeever, have you done it?
No. So what happened with me is that like I really thought that was going to be the first game I played all the way through, and then my first day I was like, I'm just going to take a little sample of each piece, right? And I just played like 20 minutes of each game. I just really wanted to sample things, see how everything looked, and then I just got super hooked on Tales from the Galaxy's Edge and Resident Evil 8. And I'm 9.5, almost 10 hours into Resident Evil 8, and I beat Tales from the Galaxy's Edge, and I haven't yet been back into Horizon for more than like, I think maybe 2 hours into that game. I completely intend on finishing it. Resident Evil just has me right now.
Dude,
That's
I
so
I,
cool.
I need to. I should be doing that this week. I've got a couple of games to review. Unfortunately for one of them, but yeah. So that's going to be
Uh-oh.
that's going to be the next thing I'm going to do is Resident Evil 8 for sure, because
It's so good.
yeah,
so
I
good.
thought it looks amazing. It seems to be better than the mod, which is what I was kind of worried about initially, because I've been told that the mod at the time of my friend playing it was better. The mod was better than than what Capcom were making, and I was like, oh, I hope that's not true. So yeah,
That's definitely
So-
better than the mod. Like it's easily better.
It's really good. Hey, Mateo's in the chat, and he mentioned something that I was going to ask you guys about, and I kind of forgot. He said the comments from the VR community have been insane lately, and that was my question to all of you guys with all of your communities. Do you remember another headset that has had this like back and forth, there's two divided sides here about this headset, and there's so much of a differing opinion that people seem to be wanting to eat each other over this. Like, it just seems to be like really, really like one side or the other. Either you hate it, like even with Sony people, you either have Sony people that absolutely love this headset, or you have so many Sony people that absolutely hate this headset, and then you have Quest people that hate the Sony headset, and you have Sony people that hate the Quest headset. It seems like this has brought out something different than I've seen in a while. What about you guys?
Well, the state of the VR right now is unique. We've never been in this situation before, where mobile gaming or mobile headsets have kind of watered down the gaming pool enough to the point where a lot of PC gamers are getting in bed with console gamers. That's like, that's unheard of from the early days in VR. When in terms of console wars, so yeah, I feel like that combined with the hype level leading into the launch of it has kind of put a microscope on everything and made everyone ultra critical, not only of the headset and the games, but of each other as well.
go on, Brad. You was nodding your head, dude, like you've been here before.
This happened with PSVR 1, Quest 2, and now PSVR 2. The biggest moments. I've been here for a while, and it's always every mainstream release, there's always an explosion of just times where I want to get off Twitter.
I think the
It just
biggest
seems overly big right now. I know,
this one does for me, because I think, like anyone who's got a VR channel, you're always, how can I put this? So for me personally, I've gone wherever the games have gone, wherever my excitement goes. Quest 2 was everything for everyone for a while. Why? Because no one was really talking about anything else, and it was really good when you got these flashes of PCVR games and like the mods. Literally, I was trying to last year was just mods. That's all I remember, like being wowed by was mods, and and so when PSVR 2's coming along, suddenly it feels like good graphics are going to be legitimate again. People don't have to worry about modding. It's going to be something everyone can buy because 30 million people have PS5s. And I think with PSVR 2, I think no one expected. I think the reason everyone talks about some of the negatives of PSVR 2 is because I don't think anyone really expected any in some way. And I didn't. I didn't even think I'd see anything negative. Do you know what I mean? My dreams, all my fantasies are just like, and it does deliver. It really does deliver. But I don't know. It's just.
Yeah,
You
I
know
feel
what
like I got
also-
blindsided a little bit by it just because a handful of people, including my homies, tried the PlayStation VR before I got to try it and didn't give me any kind of warnings. You know, everyone's like, oh, bro, here it is. Next gen is flying in hot. So I'm like, oh, shit. Okay, here we go. Wow, next gen. And then as soon as it all comes out, everyone's like, oh, yeah, but okay, here are the issues. You know, it's like I didn't hear any issues before this thing got shipped to my house. So I blame you guys.
I didn't have any issues until I tried something other than Horizon. You know what I mean? Like I played Horizon, the bright scenes, didn't really notice screen door effect, teeny tiny little bit, you know, in a controlled environments, right? And then all of a sudden, that's why that first day I'm like, I'm gonna try a little piece of everything, and I want to like really put this through its paces and see how it acts in dark games and see how it acts in first person or first party games and third party games and older PS, you know, VR1 games and like so. Yeah, and then it all, you know, you get it in your house and get some time with it, and then it all really starts to seep in.
Yeah, when was the last time you guys played anything besides your PlayStation VR2? When was the last time you touched your Quest 2 headset?
Is that rhetorical? It
I
is,
was in
right?
VR chat
Yeah.
Saturday.
Yeah.
I know the answer already.
Ghost of Tabor.
If
Yeah,
okay,
Ghost
that's
of
probably the
Tabor.
only thing that
That
could
was
pull
for
me
me.
even close. Yeah.
That's the last time I played something that wasn't PlayStation VR 2.
And I'll point out that was the night before PSVR 2 release when we did
Hey, Wes, don't steal my thunder, bro. You're right.
It's
That is
still the
true.
only thing I want to play. I mean, we can sit here and we can say exactly all these things about it, and it's still the only headset that I want to play right now. And all those games that we just talked about, GT7. I just did 2 seconds, or I probably did 20 minutes of Star Wars so far, and I'm freaking like, holy crap, this is amazing.
I think that's the bit people get wrong. If it was shit, we wouldn't bother talking about it.
Right.
That's the thing. Because it's so close to being exactly what everyone wanted, and it does deliver on so many in so many other areas, that's why you're talking about it. Because it had been just bad. Everyone had been moved on, and I want to be talking about it anyway.
That's a good point. That's a good point. Like, I don't know if you guys remember the Cosmos coming out, but that was a
do.
conversation that lasted like 3 days.
Oh god.
You know, like everyone's like, Cosmos? Nope. All right.
looked
Anyway,
it
moving
looked
on with
like
my day.
that headset. I remember getting quite. I think I made like a bit of a hype video for that because they had to. Did it have the flip up thing?
Yeah.
Yep.
Mhm.
Yep.
And I remember thinking that'd be great for me personally as a content creator, and I thought the headset looked pretty cool. The controls had the lights on, I think it was, and
Thumbsticks.
yeah, just
Yeah,
whatever
right.
it was. There was a lot of stuff going on that I thought, wow, actually, this could be a PCVR headset I really want. And then I used it, and like, yeah, within minutes, I was just like, oh shit, you know what I mean? Like, god damn it, what happened?
People were like that with the G2 also. I mean, the G2 has gotten better, but I mean, remember the G2? People either you were like hyped over the moon for it, or people got it and were like, "That's not good," and they stopped playing it.
I pre-ordered. I was hyped.
I know.
The Cosmos debacle was like, people love calling me cynical in the VR community. That was like the first moment where it started going downhill and I started becoming the cynical monster. The best advice I've ever gotten from like a longtime industry tech person was every trade show event where you try something, it's kind of like a magic show. Like they're always wanting to show the best features of the headset. They give you these perfectly controlled demos to show up like all the settings tweaked to perfection. But you really need to have something at home where it's whatever you can do with it before you can really make a good judgment on something, because they'll tell you all the things at the magic show, like what is good about it. And if you ask them what's bad about it, they won't tell you the truth, or they just won't say anything at all. Like, you know, at the CES, a lot of us noticed there was a reprojection problem, and we asked them, they'll be like, oh, it's, you know, it's just a demo, CES demo, it'll be fixed for release. Well, it wasn't. You know, it's companies will always bullcrap you. So yeah,
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was I actually So I did get the PSVR 2 early, and I knew Mike got one early. And whenever we review anything, and sometimes he doesn't always make a video out of his reviews, but he does make his own thoughts on them. We don't discuss anything because we don't want to affect each other's thoughts of it. So when I saw Mura and anything in the headset actually that I liked and I didn't like, I literally had to like learn about it because I wasn't sure what it was. I was just like, I actually only managed to learn about Mura because of, is it PSP or PSVR? So one of the screens had a very similar effect, and I'd seen it before, and it led me down this path of learning about it. So it's so scary, like seeing this stuff for the first time. But yeah, I'm so in love with this headset, and I just can't wait to see what else comes out for it at the moment. Even though technically I've actually got too much to play, my eyes are already like, oh, what's coming next? Do you know what I mean? I'm already.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, how juiced are you for Resident Evil 4 with the VR mode?
Did
you see that trailer?
I did. His hair. I don't like his hair. I'll just be honest with you. Leon Kennedy's hair now is like. Do you remember that?
It's a thing.
Do you remember that episode of The Simpsons where that guy's hair becomes alive and it tries to kill him in his sleep? And that Leon Kennedy's hair now is just like its own being.
It's an entity.
What is that? Why is it like that? It's like hair's gone back 10 years and they're like, this will look really realistic. And when I look at it now, I'm like, I don't know what happened. I don't know.
Well, I definitely can relate, GT. I had lost the fire to be playing VR games for a minute there, and now I have it back. Like, it feels really, really good to have these VR gaming sessions with the PlayStation VR2. Two things that I think make it kind of stand out for me that I don't hear a lot of people talking about, which of course are known, so nothing here should shock you, but one of them is the vertical FOV. I just did not like, I'm not used to being able to look up that high with the VR headset on. Like, I have to like look up and then keep going, you know, like my normal gaze doesn't take me as far as I can actually see up when I'm wearing that headset. And Call the Mountain, of course, you're always climbing a mountain, so it's pretty easy to tell if you're looking up, you know what I mean? So in my opinion, that is one of the kind of like cool features that has kind of surprised me. And then the other one is the headset haptics. Amazing. So good, like so much more immersive when like you know, something flies overhead. It's super loud and like really, really intense and like shakes. I love it. I love it. I will say though, I've only played Call the Mountain so far, but I was disappointed in the controller haptics. Like, this is like your flagship game. This is like the Mario 64 that you're shipping your game with. It needs to be taking advantage of all of those features, and there's no adaptive triggers. The haptics were underwhelming for me for most of it. Like, I'm like climbing and I'm like, am I feeling this right now? Okay, yeah, okay, I guess I am. They're like very, very subtle, and you know, sometimes that's good, but I was looking to be impressed by the controllers, and I wasn't really.
Well, like the Astrobot,
games,
the for the PlayStation 5, the Astrobot game, right, that you got for free. It like did so many things in that controller, in their OG PS5 controller, that that's what I expected Call of the Mountain to be like. And when Wes and Eric got back from CS and they were talking about it, it didn't sound like that was the case. And you're right, the haptics are not, they're just not there like they should be. It should be like blowing you away, like, oh my God, I can't believe I'm feeling the tension of this bow in here, and whatever. Like, there's just I think it's a missed opportunity.
Yeah, it's just that one game though, right?
Yeah.
Like, I have literally sat there, and it, like, the first one that comes to my mind is Tales from the Galaxy's Edge, with like a line of all the weapons I've accumulated, right? And just picking them up and going ding, 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 and like just sitting there for like 5 minutes at a time, just like slowly squeezing the trigger and letting it give, and like, it's phenomenal when done right. And it's too bad that a title like Call of the Mountain, which is the flagship title, didn't implement that stuff better, because they are really impressive. And it's probably my favorite part of this headset is the controllers and the haptics.
They've dropped a 10 gig update today for Horizon.
Saw that. Yeah. Did anybody try? Has anybody tried it after the update?
Well, I went through the notes, and to be honest, I don't. Now I've done the game, there's nothing here that makes me want to go back and see if it's improved, because a lot of the time I didn't really have many issues with a lot of stuff. I could see, like maybe smooth turning isn't necessarily very smooth, but I dealt with it fine because I've been with that so many times, and I was kind of waiting to see that on here, because I said, "You play Pavlov?" It's so good.
Download. I haven't played it yet. I did play After the Fall,
dude.
And talk about haptics for After the Fall. The triggers are really good after the fall.
Just go into Pavlov and go into the gun room. Just start checking out those weapons, and I'm so sure you'll be like, "Yeah, nice. That is very good." And the sounds, oh man, the sounds in that game. I don't know why I've never really picked up on them before, but I was using a Desert Eagle inside one of the prisons, and the sound of that gun going off. It was just amazing. Like, it's like a memory now I won't forget. It was like, wow.
Speaking of sound, so sorry, but I need to know, what are you guys doing for audio with the PlayStation VR2? Because so far I've just been using the earbuds, and I feel like it's good, it's working, but also they're kind of uncomfortable in my ears after about an hour or so, and I'm like starting to wonder what the best option is here.
Just bought them. I wrote down and bought them. These are the Sony Pulse headphones, wireless. I wasn't going to buy these. I hate the earbuds, man. And I saw these. They make a white one too. So if you want to match, I could give two shits of what color it is. I picked these up for $80. The regular white ones are $100. Yeah. So I got these on sale at Walmart. They're on sale, $88.
Have you tried to connect it directly to the headset? Because D-Rail told me that if you don't use it wirelessly and you connect it
with the cable,
he said it's so much better. I've yet to try it yet, but he hands down said it's the way to use it.
So he's saying
it's nice that it comes with both.
Using the headset with an auxiliary lead is what gives you the 3D pulse. Is that what he's saying?
Well, I don't know. He just said that it sounds better. He said that he was very bummed with the way it was until he didn't use the dongle and he connected it directly, and he said that is absolutely the way to do it. So I still have yet to try it, but I need to
try it. So I'm extremely impressed with them. I've had them for a couple of days now. I'm really impressed.
They are good. So normally with some games, Black games so far, you get profiles you can download for the games to use with those headsets. So basically the developers have said Last of Us sounds best with these particular settings you download, and that's what the headsets bring to a lot of games. It's pretty cool. And obviously you have your wireless USB dongle in your PlayStation. I did use the auxiliary lead thing, and I don't remember really finding a difference personally. That's not to say there wasn't. I'm usually pretty good with sound, but just want to say thank you to Maya. I'm just
Mia's Ma.
Thank you ever so much for the £10 donation. £10, yeah, UK. Saw this video. Funny enough, I sent this to Brad earlier. Saw this video about Mura being diminished by wearing green tinted sunglasses. Have you guys tried anything like that? I'm going to say absolutely not. I've not tried it because I would not want to wear sunglasses in there. But Brad, what have you got to say about this? What have you got to say about this?
I think it's silly.
It changed the entire look of the game too.
Well, everybody goes out of their way to not have to wear glasses. They buy optic things, and nobody wants to wear glasses in the headset. But let me go grab some green tinted glasses and throw them on there. I think it doesn't sound good either at all. Sounds like a extra work.
If I wore them with 0% brightness, I imagine the sunglasses are polarized. There'd be almost no light getting to those sunglasses.
They would be polarized. Yeah, I don't know, dude. I don't think the Mura's that bad. There's no way I'd consider that. I mean,
yeah.
I don't know.
There's way worse issues in my opinion too. So.
Yes. The Mura is just something that's noticeable every now and then. It's not game breaking or even close to being game breaking.
Exactly.
I only seen it a couple times. I mean, Kayak VR in the night was the worst, but I had to really look for it in other games and barely see it. So
I'll tell you what, though, I did try using it with rose tinted glasses, and it was absolutely the best thing I've ever
seen. Who doesn't use rose tinted glasses?
Oh, that is amazing. So yeah, I did see the video. It was posted in my Discord earlier, and I literally thought, no. To be polite, I was like, no, that is not the answer. Do you know what I'm saying?
Indeed also does have a point. Lowering the brightness does actually make the Mura a bit better. So not only do you get better motion clarity, you get less Mura.
The Brad method is what we need to follow, everyone. The Brad
Well,
method.
and that brightness is still brighter than most headsets, right? If you have it mostly turned down all the way.
I should have. It's
Have you guys
very
done it?
very average at 0%. Like most headsets are most, especially OLED headsets, even back in the day, Vive CB1, Rift, and Vive Pro, they're all around that brightness already. So yeah, because okay, the end of the day, the panels in the PSVR 2 is almost no different than the panels in CB1, Vive OG, and Vive Pro. They're all from the same manufacturer, the same pixel layout and everything. It's just Sony decided to run them brighter at a higher persistence than everyone else decided was good back then. So that's it. They're the same. They're the same.
That's
There
it.
you go.
Have you guys turned yours down?
No, but I'm
What do you
going
guys-
to after this.
I have mine at 70%, but I might try going down even further.
Like, I don't know what it would do for me though. Like, I literally don't really have the issue. So would it
need
help
to
me? I don't
start
even know.
off
What?
lower.
You're telling me you haven't used the thumbstick to turn?
I mean, I
'Cause
use the
it's-
thumbstick, but it doesn't bother me. I
it's
don't see the
so
blur.
bad.
The blur doesn't bother me at all.
It's
Just-
pretty. I think it's pretty bad personally.
Just go
Yeah, I
into
thought-
like any non-reprojected game, even like Song in the Smoke menu, and just you it doesn't pause the game if you're in the menu, so you can double tap the PlayStation button and it'll pull up the small menu, and you can set your brightness slider while moving your head. Do it, and you'll notice the blur gets way better when you do it. Trust me, you'll notice it. I swear, you'll notice. I'm not crazy. I
Because
swear.
Brad actually, it was quite funny. Brad posted a video because I tried to do this like my own video, and I thought, I don't think Brad's going to do this in this video. And Brad's got, what you need to do, guys, is turn your brightness down and look at this. And he's doing this in this video. And I remember thinking,
What the
that
hell is he
doesn't
doing?
look any different. And then he put on the comment below, by the way, you can't see it in the video.
Yeah.
I was like,
I'm gonna try it. I'll definitely
Freaking
try
share
it. I'll check
screen.
it out.
always, I think if you're really interested in this stuff, just go in at 0 on the lowest setting and just work your
Yeah.
way up. That's the best way. Because if you go in super bright, it's obviously going to look a lot darker. I was messing around with the Quest 2 brightness settings, not that you ever need to, but that headset is actually very dim on the brightest settings in comparison to PSVR 2. To the point, I think PSVR 2 is like, for me personally, who's always staring at screens, a bit too bright anyway. So I've been settling for 75% at all times, regardless. I didn't even realize, for the last week, it's been at 75% or more. And it's been absolutely fine. Like No Man's Sky looked, apart from the resolution side of things, it looked amazing in there. So
Why do you think they didn't do anything with the resolution, like as far as foveated rendering or anything? Like PD was saying, he was really disappointed with it, and he feels like it was like kind of lazy. Like I kind of feel like, I don't know, man. Hello Games, they're so good. They've worked so hard for so long to make this, but it's just like, I mean, I know they'll fix it because they have proven to me that they always do. Like it, but why not on release? It blows me away.
I was
of
sad
course,
about it too. I really thought that No Man's Sky was going to rival my PC VR headset on there, and I was like, why aren't they using dynamic foveated rendering? What is happening here? Like everything just seems slightly blurry, and it looks so much crisper and clearer on my PC. And I was pretty
when we
bummed
went
about
to
it.
Supermassive, that's the first thing. Like me and Mike were like, "So do you use dynamic foveated rendering and eye tracking?" And they were like, "No one's really using dynamic foveated rendering." They were like, "There's 2 games maybe." The whole, and I was thinking, there's like 40 games. Why would none of them be doing that? I don't know. I don't know if it's hard to implement. Maybe the tools aren't quite there yet from Sony for them to use it. I don't know. But in a way, like all of us would be thinking, well, it's just going to make your game perform better and look better. So why wouldn't you automatically do it? But there must be a reason. There must be a reason that you don't use it. But maybe Brad knows. Do you know Brad?
Maybe they just developed the game too far without the dev kit supporting it very, like the tools you said. I think that makes the most sense to
I
me.
think it makes the most sense. But who am I? You know what
I mean, they've been
Remember-
hyping it forever. I remember GDC last year. I went to several talks, and that was like the main focus of the talks was like, the foveated rendering and how much power it's going to save and how much better everything was going to be. And this was in March of 2022, and now we still don't have the games that are taking advantage of it.
Remember too that a vast majority of these games that we have right now came out on the Quest 2 and are already optimized for mobile chipsets. Now you put them on a PS5, right? And it's like, and they're like, oh, look, we don't even have to do anything. It runs awesome.
Yeah, right.
So why even bother implementing that stuff when you have mobily, balanced and
If anything, for
Oh,
me, it would be so that I could, when I'm selling my game, I can use that line, foveated rendering. Like one of the 3 games that fucking do it. Like I just think that it would make sense to me. Aside from the fact that like you want people's first impressions when they go in to be like, oh my god, this is amazing. Not, oh well, let me wait for another patch down the road, or I just think that it would be.
Does anyone else even know what that is? Like, so check this out. So I was watching some big flat game YouTuber. He got his hands on a PSVR 2, right? And I'm like, what's
Like
this
most
guy
of
gonna
them.
say about this, right?
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, I was playing Horizon Call of the Mountain, and the only thing they even use the eye tracking for is the menu selection. What a missed opportunity. And I'm like, dude, you have no idea what you're even talking about. You don't even realize like what's happening in the background here, which I guess is a good thing. You don't want people to notice what's happening, but like I feel like people just have no idea what that is. Your average people, the people that are watching this chat, that watch all of us, they know exactly what we're talking about because we talk about it all the time, right? But Joe and Sally Walmart, no idea. They have no idea.
They want the
what
gimmick. No, they want the gimmick. They want the whole idea of being able to aim with your eyes or whatever. You know what I mean?
There was a guy
They
that I've seen, and I guess it actually makes me a little bit jealous because I'm probably not that good of a YouTuber in this way. But there's some videos out there that are like, you can make Gran Turismo more immersive, and I'll show you how. And he literally disables the HUD, and somehow he makes an 8-minute video out of it. And I'm just like, fucking hell! Like, I need to up my fucking game at this shit.
Your YouTube game, man.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I need to grab my face more and look stunned outside of the headset, so I'm not looking at anything and I'm stunned. And then tell you how to make Gran Turismo more immersive. I was just like, fuck's sake.
Did you do it? Did you turn it off? Take the advice?
No, because I needed the map anyway for a little while because I didn't know where the fuck I was going on some of these tracks. Like, it's been a long time. There's only really one track, Nürburgring, that regardless of the game, I think everyone knows that track in like 80% of it off by heart because they've raced on it so many times. And Trial Mountain as well.
I was seeing. Oh, I'm sorry.
No.
I was seeing I was searching how to fix motions. I literally searched this on YouTube. How does this fix motion sickness in PSVR 2? Because I was kind of curious that people were running with the brightness thing. That was
Has someone left?
It looks like we lost
Alex
Wes.
dropped.
Oh no, Alex.
Oh no.
Yeah, Alex.
What?
Sorry.
Wait,
Uh-oh.
Who have we
Uh-oh.
lost? Because
Alex.
Oh, Alex. Yeah.
I think Alex
everyone's
is
cut in half till he
vanished.
comes back.
Oh man.
Everyone is cut in half. Like,
Oh, they are too. Wait.
Wow.
What?
that's what I'm
amazing.
saying.
Uh-oh.
He's not amazing.
Alex.
It's fucking annoying.
Oh, I gotta be near the mic.
Here we go. I gotta be
Is
like
he
this.
coming back?
Probably. I mean, I guess is.
Oh, here he
there he
comes.
is.
There he goes.
Welcome back.
Hey.
Hey,
Don't ever do that
Where-
again.
what happened to me? Where did I go?
You've
It's
literally
conspiracy.
right.
Soon
Hold
do.
on, just for because Alex gave me a bollocking the other week. Let me put him back. There we go. I wonder if you
I
can
thought
do that.
he got pissed about the conversation. He's like, "Fuck these guys! I'm out of here, man."
Yeah, that was dumb what you guys were saying.
Right, and
But I
True.
had a thought, that I'll
right,
take advantage of
Alex,
this
you gotta wait
opportunity
now,
here.
mate. You gotta wait because
No,
sadly, as Bradley was chatting, you left to get attention. So Bradley, please continue.
Oh no. Oh man. Oh, okay. Okay. Well, I was
Bradley,
just
I
gonna say
gotta focus.
I literally searched up motion sickness PSVR 2 on YouTube, and there's like 10 videos of like you said, like 8-minute videos, and like the advice was take Dramamine, like the whole video, like 10 of them. And I'm like, we're
Oh my
freaking
God.
doomed,
Wow.
bro.
Man.
Yeah.
So I was thinking while you guys were talking about foveated rendering, right? And it kind of got me thinking about like when you buy a TV, right? Like not everybody knows about hertz and refresh rates and resolutions and stuff like that. But if you're going to spend a pretty penny on something, I'm willing to bet most people glance at some of this information. You know what I mean? So if I buy a TV that has like, I don't know, a 240 hertz refresh rate and can do 8K, and then I bring it home and I set it up and then I go to watch a movie on it and the movie doesn't support that, it makes me pretty sad. it makes me pretty salty, because I have spent a premium on a premium product that's capable of delivering certain things, and then the content that's being made for that device isn't capitalizing on all those opportunities. That, in my opinion, is messed up. Like, if you're a developer and you're making a game for this hardware, you should be using all of it. You should be using the eye tracking, the foveated rendering, the haptics on the controller, the haptics on the headset. Like, give the people their money's worth for the hardware that they purchased.
That's why I was so concerned about it. We go back to No Man's Sky. That's why I was concerned. Everybody was like, I want backwards compatibility. Give me the old games on the PlayStation VR2. Well, what is Hello Games' motivation to do all this extra shit for No Man's Sky? Are they gonna how many more copies do you think they're gonna sell now because they put extra shit in it? They're probably not going to sell it. They've already been selling it for how long? Everybody already has a copy of it. It's not an upcharge to go to the PlayStation VR2 with it. Again, all these older games. What is the motivation for the developers to put all this kind of money into more development that they're going to give away the game for free to everybody who already owns it? So I don't want the backward stuff. I want the new games. You know, I don't want the ports either. I want or be a better port like Galaxy's Edge. But yeah, that's why I feared all these games to begin with.
Yeah. I was just going to say, when I actually put the joke in the title of "We Don't Talk About Mura," and I think we've spent the last 50 minutes literally just like, before I was setting this show up, there is a point in my mind where I think, what are we going to talk about today? But I've literally got to remember that I don't ever need to worry about it on this show, because
not with this group. We could talk about anything.
You talk about the Quest. Oh, sorry.
I would love to do that.
Let's talk about Quest.
This Quest 3 and Quest Lite thing have me fascinated. I've been like thinking about it since I talked about it on my show on Thursday, and this roadmap, it has me fascinated. I want to hear what you have to say right now.
Me?
Go.
Yes.
I was waiting for that. I was waiting for that.
Okay, I guess we're switching gears. All right, cool.
You suggested it.
Yeah,
I did. I know.
You were trolling.
I didn't think I don't know why I wasn't ready.
I was trying to segue you, dude.
No, yeah. So for people who don't know, because they're like not VR fans, I guess, The Verge leaked a very ethical leak, showing out the next 4 years of the hardware products. Yeah, and basically this year it's pretty much all we expected. The Quest 3, it's going to have a better chip. It's going to be very focused on mixed reality. In fact, that's kind of all they talked about. They didn't say the word game once in the leaked memo about it. Well, they did. They kind of said software titles and apps, but yeah, very mixed reality focused. The next year, they're going to be releasing something that is like I should smote. The Quest 3 is going to be much higher cost than the Quest 2 is being sold for now. So maybe $500 or around there, or even more, maybe.
I think they even said enthusiast, right? They even mentioned like an enthusiast headset.
Yeah,
that's not good for your wallet when they say enthusiast.
Yeah.
As long as it doesn't hit pro levels, dude.
No, the pro doesn't hit pro levels anymore.
Yeah, that's true.
That was the title of my video. Quest Pro is not for pros, and
Hey.
anyway, the next year, in case the Quest 3 doesn't sell well because it's a higher price, they're gonna have a cheaper headset that we don't know what it's gonna be, but in case, it's gonna probably have cheaper components and like less features, and then be like what the Quest 2 was when it launched, a very cheap headset to get people in the platform and hopefully stay in the platform, because Meta's also having huge issues with getting people using their headsets that they're selling. So there's also some stuff about AR that I actually don't think is going to come to pass like they think, because AR always gets delayed every 5 years. So, yeah.
Do you ever think Meta will actually realize that people will play their fucking headsets if they put decent games out for people to play on the headsets?
No, because mammals need to see their surroundings.
Yes.
Right.
Yes. That's true. Very much. I like it.
I was
What are we gonna get? What are we gonna get first, Brad? Optical AR or varifocal VR?
Varifocal VR, 100%.
Nice. Hope you're right.
The Triangulator said in the chat he couldn't hear us through all the Mura that he was seeing.
Oh, wow.
It's so thick.
Turn it up.
Oh, I love that comment so much. But I was going to say exactly what you just basically said, Mash, is that it's all right talking about these headsets, but we need a reason to put them on our fucking heads. There's got to be a reason other than just, oh yeah, it's going to be bigger, better and faster, or smaller, better and faster, I guess. But what are we playing? what are we doing on them? And hopefully this year is the year that, well, they pull their finger out, pull their socks up, and show us some new games, that we want to play.
I really do think they will. They have to see it. I mean, they're seeing all the reports, these leaked reports that we're seeing. They're seeing the same things of the retention rate being so low. They have to assume it's got to be because of games. You cannot keep putting the same cookie cutter games out there all the time and think because it's a mobile game and because it's a mobile gaming headset, people are going to want to play it. It doesn't work that way. You have to give us compelling things to play, or we're not going to play them.
It's no different than flat gaming. Fun games are fun, and if your games suck, if they're shallow and there's no reason to play them, of course your retention is going to go down. How many people go into VR for the first time and they're blown away, and then like 3 weeks later they're like, the games are just so shallow. They're like, why? What is this? They're coming from AAA games that are blow everybody away, and then you expect that VR is magic and you're going to get in there and it's going to maintain it. We're maintained because we're enthusiasts, but even myself, like I was like gamertag all last year was all about the mods for a reason, because the games are fucking awesome. Hogwarts is the only game that I really do think about going back to play with for PC VR or any of these mods, because the game is amazing.
I don't know what the bat you guys are talking about.
Hey!
I didn't even say it, man. I didn't bring it up.
It's like the other day I was thinking, what should I stream? And admittedly, I do want to stream to PSVR2 stuff because Quest is another reason for certain things. Quest is just really hard to stream from and set up and be enjoyable for the streamer. That's the problem. To play a game and enjoy it while you've got text to speech hammering your head, and you're trying to play a game, especially a puzzle game, for example, where normally you could stream a puzzle game, people could help you with it on the stream. You got all these voices. It's not really fun. It's not really fun.
You're not supposed to get irritated with your audience. And if you're, at least for me, if I'm getting interrupted every time I'm talking by text to speech, I'm going to start getting irritated with the people that are there watching me. I could never do it.
I know.
I could never do it. I can't.
I did it for like 2 years and it was fine. But suddenly one day it just wasn't. I was just like, I just don't want to do this anymore. It's just not fair.
It's such a weird thing. Yeah, it's such a weird thing. You actually hope your audience doesn't talk to you. That's what you're hoping for, because you can't get a sentence out. You can't be like, you're trying to say something about the game or make a point, and it's like every time you get halfway through, somebody interrupts you, and then that's not what you want. I want my audience to be engaged, talking to each other, talking to me, all those things. I just want to be able to read it.
It's the delay as well. Like, I was thinking about using text to speech. So on the PSVR 2, a lot of people asked about streaming directly from PlayStation, because that is how I started my channel, is actually streaming directly PSVR from there, and comments used to come up in the headset, which is fine when 6 people or 20 are watching. It works out fine. But when you start getting more people, those comments become delayed. Now, you in the headset won't necessarily know that until someone says, I asked this question 5 minutes ago. And then so I was like, okay, text to speech. And I think when I done Gran Turismo, I had 700 and something people watching live. If I'd have done text to speech on that, it would have been pointless. I'm glad I didn't use it, because it was easy to come out of the headset in between races and talk to people rather than trying to do this text to speech thing. That's one of the downsides as a streamer of PSVR for me personally, and why I love doing it on PC, because you can just pin the chat and see everyone. But I was thinking about streaming the other day. Do you know what I really want to play again? Is Alien Isolation. All over again.
That's cool. So
Why?
I just saw somebody in there recently.
Why do I want to play that?
Wolvie. Oh no, not Wolvie.
It was Scion, right?
Scion, yeah.
Yeah, I
Scion's
saw
been
that.
playing it.
That's cool.
PD loves that game too, I think.
So
I think he always
good.
talks about it.
So good in VR, even though there's no touch support. It's just such a great experience. Such a great experience. What games are you guys looking forward to this month anyway, coming out? Obviously we've got Walking Dead Chapter 2. I know it had a very rocky start on Quest. I think it's been updated. I've heard there's been a lot of fixes. So, and I do feel that Chapter 2 has been much quieter hype-wise to the original. I think Walking Dead carried hype for a year on VR. Like, everyone was talking about The Walking Dead, Saints and Sinners, for such a long time.
Well, it came out on PC first before, and made its way over to Quest and PlayStation later. And now they're coming out on Quest first. So, I mean, and don't get me wrong, it's good on Quest. It's much better now that they've updated it. But us gaming enthusiasts, we want the full version. And if you're like me or like a lot of us, you've just been waiting. You've been waiting so that you can get it with that OLED panel and the adaptive triggers and all the haptics. Like that's the version I want to play. So I played it just enough before to cover it. But I haven't gone through the campaign yet because I've been waiting for this launch. So
Yeah, I didn't even launch it. To me, it would be like it's like launching, a game on the Game Boy and not waiting for the full blown version to come out. I'm dying to play this game, dying to play it, and I cannot wait for it. Can't wait for that.
It's so interesting they
Mm.
went with what they thought would sell the most.
Mhm.
Because I think I was in, where was I? I might have been in Salt Lake or somewhere when it come across, like where everyone was talking about the date of it releasing, and the conversation hadn't necessarily happened that it was coming out on Quest first, and I was like, what? I was like, is it? And she went, yeah. And I was like, I don't think anyone knows this. She was like, no, they do. And I said, can I tweet about it? And she went, yeah, all right. And honestly, everyone didn't know about it. And I was just like, wow, that I don't know. It seemed a bit crazy to me. But I get it, obviously, because they wanted to sell more copies. But obviously all their focus was on the Quest build as well, on that development. And that was what was so weird when that come out not great, Those textures, man. Those textures were non-existent.
I mean, you got to go where the players are, unfortunately, right? Like we love VR, we love the games, and we want to play with the highest quality possible, but it's not the masses.
Are you guys going PC or PSVR 2 then for The Walking Dead?
Mm.
I know,
PSVR
sorry,
2.
Skeever.
Yeah, I'm gonna go PSVR 2.
How you reacted, Skeever, is how I reacted inside.
dude.
I was like, oh,
I don't know what to do. I'm so torn. I wish it was like cross progression so I could just switch back and forth. You know what I mean? Like I am so torn because like I had the best experiences playing The Walking Dead Saints and Sinners and it's the add-ons that they brought in later, all on my PC, everything maxed to the best possible graphics. But the OLED screens, right, and the adaptive triggers, I guess it really depends on like, are they going to utilize that stuff? How
Right.
well are they going to use the haptics? Are they really going to like take advantage of the hardware to its fullest capacity? And then maybe I'll play on PSVR 2. Oh man,
there's
so
a chainsaw,
Tough.
guys.
There's
There's
a chainsaw with the haptics. Hell yeah.
Come on,
I'm glad they delayed it. That the delay almost tells me that they are doing what they need to do to make this a great release for PC and for PlayStation VR 2. But if I can tell you that right now there won't be much of a difference graphically between the two, they'll be almost identical. But you're going to get OLED and you're going to get haptics with the headset, with the way the headset feels and the controllers. Which headset?
yeah,
you
but
gonna
I'm
play on?
also on the index. I'm also going to get like 140-degree field of view and 144 frames a second, right? Like those are not to be taken lightly for me. Like that's super important to me. So for me, I'm just like back and forth. No, this. Oh, I don't know what to do.
I do think if you're down for visuals and you've got a good rig, I think PC will still be the king for this one. I do personally, but yeah, I am actually thinking I'm going PSVR 2 for this one as well.
I would say tune into all of our channels. We'll let you know, right? I'm sure we'll all be testing them both on both, and we'll all let you know.
Just say not Quest 2. That's safe.
Look at Wes, bless him. Look at Wes. He's like
chainsaw with adaptive triggers. You hit the bone, you feel it in the haptics. Come on, son.
But that's
You know
the
who,
thing.
you know who else hits the bone?
Yeah, she does.
Is that what bone is that? The pelvic bone? Like
well,
what bone are we hitting? Hitting kidneys. We're hitting kidneys here.
Oh no!
Jeez.
But that is the question, though, right? How like I would have said that the Call of the Mountain haptics were going to be amazing a month ago. So
they're much better.
Just because there's a chainsaw doesn't mean that we're going to be able to feel it like we want to feel it. I'm hoping we will, but I don't trust shit until I see it or try it. You know what I mean? I just don't.
I think you guys are underselling Horizon in this. It's much better now than it was in the demo. And there were a few times in that game where the haptics wowed me. It wasn't just like it was garbage. Like there were, you know what my favorite thing is? And this is such a shitty little like minor thing that really doesn't have any impact. but when you choose things in the menu selection and those bongo drums come up and it goes, "Ba-da-dum," and you feel it through your hands and your face, I thought that was the coolest thing.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry.
No, don't apologize. I love it. Like I think you guys are absolutely right about. It was the older games that made me pay attention to haptics more than the newer stuff. I always felt like the developers maybe had to think a bit more about how we're going to entice people to want to try our older game on next gen hardware. As Horizon was almost a guaranteed visual feast. So, as I said before, man, I love even just turning the thing on and off. I love it. Like just the fact it vibrates. That little touch is just so cool.
It's
so
nice.
cool.
It surpassed my expectations. You know, like I have used the full Haptics kit so many times, you know, like with the facial interface. I actually modded the facial haptic thing from Haptics. I cut it open, pulled out the soft pad that was in there, took a VR cover, cut that open, pulled that soft pad out, put it in there, and then like mod it so that way it would actually be comfortable, because straight from Haptics, that thing on the face is not comfortable.
Yeah.
But anyway, I've used facial haptics in so many different games and enjoyed it, but it doesn't hold a candle to what the PlayStation VR2 is doing. Like those haptics are really high quality and really nice. And to your point, GT, when you just pick it up and turn it on, it's just like it like comes to life in your hands. It's awesome. Yeah, I can't wait to see what more developers do.
You really want to feel like the haptics in the face and the adaptive triggers and the haptics in the controllers. Man, Resident Evil 8 has it nailed, man. There's so many scenes
I'm so scared, bro.
Parts of the game where it's just like it really hits home, and they use that stuff really, really well, which is crazy because, again, they didn't need to. Just like No Man's Sky doesn't technically need to support dynamic foveated rendering. People can buy Resident Evil 8 no matter what, right? They didn't need to go in and put all that extra in there, and they just made it work so well, and it just feels amazing.
I'm so scared.
Yeah,
It should be.
can't wait.
It's terrifying.
It's the shotgun in that game that makes me so excited to play The Walking Dead Saints and Sinners 2 in PSVR 2, because I know how the weapons are going to be. And again, and I've said it 10 times already, that the tactile feedback of PSVR 2 is what really sets it apart and makes it a special platform to me.
Are you guys excited for Gorn? Again?
What?
Gorn's coming to PSVR 2.
I wasn't excited for Gorn when it first came out.
Yeah.
But it's gonna look so amazing in the headset and the PSVR 2. The colors and
Probably
maybe
will.
not.
I must be one of
I'm
the
not-
only people that just doesn't. I never liked. I just was not a fan of Gorn at all in any way.
I thought it
I'm
was
more
hilarious.
looking
This
forward
is
to
okay.
fast, right? Like, it's good for a
I'm-
minute.
I'm more looking forward to Hellsplit Arena when it finally makes its way over to
Yeah.
PSVR 2. I
That'd be
think
cool.
that'll be much better than Gorn.
Vertigo
Oh,
2 for me at the moment is really.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, I think
I
that's on
can't-
everybody too. Yeah.
I can't wait to just enjoy my PCVR experience again. And I think
What
that
about-
game's going to do that massively. I'm going to be like, wow, this is going to be incredible.
What about Ghosts of Tabor in PlayStation VR 2?
Hell
That's gonna
yeah,
be amazing,
dude.
right?
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Wait. I cannot wait
Absolutely.
for that.
That game is going to be killer. That game goes into open alpha this week. So anybody who's heard us talking about it, has been like jonesing to get in and like trying to get keys, and now is the time, man. It's gonna launch hopefully this Wednesday in open alpha, and holy crap, that game's gonna be crazy. Like
Is it,
Yeah, and
I got a message when I was in here. Freaking Sean and Tyler from Render Reality were like, "Hey, we're going into Ghost of Tabor with Artful. You want to go?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm in the middle of CruCast."
Yeah, me and Nash almost just
I
left
almost
to
was
go
like,
play.
"GT, I gotta go," but it was screw the windows up. So,
and we'll screw the windows up.
But yeah, that's how much I love this game. I have 150 plus hours in Ghost of Tabor, and I don't know, Skiba, when did I start playing? 3 weeks ago.
Something like that. Yeah, man. This game, it's so good. And when it hits PSVR 2, it's over, man. Everyone's just gonna like fall in love with this game, I think.
Yeah.
Have any of you guys played Hellsweeper?
yes,
Yeah.
Yes, very good.
Is that shit awesome or what?
it's very awesome. And you know,
Yeah.
it was early alpha when we played it way back
Mhm.
when. I can only imagine what it's like now.
Yeah, it's like a dog is up there at all times. Like you always have a dog. You can like send your dog in and like pull him back, and there's like the dog is like on the
Oh,
cover
I
of the
didn't see
game
the
at this
dog.
point.
Can you
remember-
pet the dog? That's the
Mhm.
question.
Yes, you can.
Oh, hey, okay, there you go.
Yes, you can pet the dog.
That reminds
So
me of
that one-
Shadow Dancer. On
You know
Mega
who
Drive.
else loves to pet the dog?
Hey,
Yeah,
That's
Yeah,
right.
she does. Yeah.
So
a big dog
Hellsweeper,
fan.
Hellsweeper, for those of you who haven't played it, because you probably haven't because it's not out yet, is from the developers of Sorrento, and they take a lot of that movement from Sorrento, like being able to jump and do backflips and slide across the ground, and like tons and tons of like locomotion and movement options. But then they blend it with like, oh, I don't know, just all the best mechanics, you know, like pistols and casting spells out of your hands and a bow and arrow. Like, you know, it's just awesome. I'm excited.
Sorrento was so like ahead of its time, really. And I remember the first time, and I actually think some people in chat may not have done a front or back flip in VR, but it is a very strange experience. First time you do it, and you can also skid on your knees in Sorrento, can't you, and stuff. And it's a fucking cool game. Dude.
But like I played Sorrento, and it honestly, I did not connect with it. Like I've played it a handful of times, and I was like, nah, this isn't it. And then I jumped into Hellsweeper, and I was like, oh hell yeah, this is what I am talking about. Like doing backflips with dual pistols, like firing down at the ground while I'm like mid backflip. Oh man, it's so good.
Jesus Christ, Paradise! What sort of language is that in the chat?
I think he's talking.
Can we ban it? My goodness!
Holy moly! This is a family show, bro.
Bloody hell,
I gotta go change
PD!
my shirt. I'll be right
This
back.
is a family
He
show.
forgot the word cat.
He forgot the word cat. He forgot the word cat. Audio listeners. I'm not,
GT is like, what? She got a big old face in the chat.
GT's gonna be sleeping on the couch now because of you, PD. Thanks a lot.
She's done the shock face in the chat.
Oh man.
Kind of like Hellsweeper in terms of its like style and intensity that I'm excited for people to play more, I guess, is Everslot. Everslot is super awesome.
Yes.
And
yes.
that game is just badass, and kind of like Hellsweeper in terms of just how badass you feel when you play it. But yeah, that's going to be, I know, I don't know what I'm allowed to say about that game actually, but I just know that they have a lot.
Are you about Invasion? Everslot Invasion.
Yeah. I got a chance to get a demo of that.
Yeah, on the Quest.
GT.
The one coming to the Quest.
Yeah, GT gave me a demo when I was in Germany.
That's not what
awesome.
he's talking about.
That's not what he's
Everslot?
talking about. We're talking about another Everslot.
No, I am. Yeah, Everslot.
Oh, you are?
Then,
Okay.
Yeah, and then it got
Never
picked
mind.
up by someone, Fast Travel, I think.
Yeah, they're publishing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah. And then they're just adding extra features to it that I know didn't exist before, and I just don't know what I know, like behind the scenes and what I'm allowed to speak about, so I'm not gonna talk about it. But
Safer not to.
yeah, but I just know that game is going to kick ass. It already kicks ass, and it's going to kick even more ass when it finally releases.
So good. It's what Doom VFR should have been.
Yeah.
I'll be honest. When I learnt about Everslot, I was kind of like Everslot Invasion. I was kind of, and it wasn't called that at the time. But when they were like, we're going for the co-op wave-based thing, I really liked the original Everslot, that single-player run-through challenge roguelite thing. I liked that. But to be fair, they were right. The guys know what they're doing. You know, they're bringing basically a mobile version of Everslot out, and everyone loves playing games with someone else in VR. Do you know what I mean? Like making that game co-op is pretty cool.
That's what I was thinking about. I just didn't know if that was public knowledge or
Oh,
not.
yeah,
That it
it
was going to
is.
be
It is.
multiplayer.
Yeah, they've announced quite a bit of that game. I mean, they've even showed some trailers of it now. So
I've actually got a
Sick.
gameplay video on my channel, which is kind of worrying. Have you guys done that?
I don't know. You're not supposed
No.
to.
I don't know. I think so.
I know when I did the demo, I had to sign all kinds of NDAs and stuff just to get in and do
I
it.
must.
So.
Yeah, it must have been around that time. Did you post the video, Eric? Or
No, I didn't. They gave me footage though. I mean, you gave me footage that we were able to capture, but I
that's when
wasn't
first met
exactly.
Eric. Oh.
Yeah, I wasn't exactly sure what we could do, so I never did anything with it.
Oh, okay.
When you're signed 4 pages of NDAs that day, so
He's actually a very big fella. When you see him here, he doesn't look very big, but he's quite. You're taller than me, aren't you? I think.
I think I am. Yeah, I'm 6'4". I mean, how tall are you?
Definitely
6
taller
feet.
than me. Yeah, I'm like 6. So
We got a nice picture of me and you holding Mike at the.
Oh,
the
yeah,
pizza
that's
party.
little Mike, he loves being
Yeah.
picked up. He does. If you know that, do you remember that clip on Star Wars where Yoda's on your backpack? Like if
Yes.
if he could do that, he would literally climb on your back and just say, "Just fucking carry me everywhere, dude." Like he'd love that. He'd love
I
to
think
be
I
a
saw a
key
video
ring.
of that at Resolution Games of him jumping on your back while playing Spatial Ops.
That's what I'm saying. He would love to be a key ring of a man if he could. What I was going to say, there was one other game I wanted to talk about because I mean we're not really talking about Vertigo 2 because I guess we don't really know what to talk about apart from the fact it's going to be amazing.
Switchback.
Switchback. Thank you, Wes. Thank goodness. Yes. Let's quickly talk about Switchback. And it's not, what is it, the 16th? So 10 days away for the actual release. And I believe they said they were going to give the CruCast a bit of early access as well.
Yeah, where's that at?
If that means today, then yes.
I'm not talking to you, GT. I'm talking to him. Where's it at?
Yeah.
Where's it at? Well, I'm waiting for my early access. Like, I don't want to play anything else right now except that, and I can't, and it alarms me.
You play it so bad. Me and Mash are going to be gone. We're going to be traveling for the next like 20 something days.
Yeah.
And like, we're not going to have access to a PlayStation the whole time. I'm going to be thinking about that game. I have considered cramming my PS5 and my PS VR2 in a freaking suitcase and bringing it to 3 different states just for Switchback.
That was something I never considered. People were like, "Oh, GT, have you got a travel case you'd recommend for your PSVR2?" And I was like, "I don't even recommend traveling with it. Like, I haven't really thought about it. Is it? I don't know. Is it something we take with us?"
I was leaving like that.
I can't do it. I can't
do it. How many places we're going? If we were going to one place and staying there, I would bring it. I would.
Yeah, we have like 5 flights to do. No way.
Like Texas, Orlando, Florida, and then like San Francisco, California, like just all over the place, like 6 different flights or whatever. That'd be it.
We can get Jasmine. Jasmine's going with us. Maybe we can get Jasmine to bring hers because she can just drive to where you are.
She's not driving. Oh, in California.
Yeah, we're going to be in California quite a bit.
Alex, did you ever have your B Haptics go through the airport? Did you see it?
Mash did.
Did you see the scanner on the image?
Yeah, no. They made me. I didn't carry it on. I put it in my in my luggage, and they never. I don't know if they checked it or not, but I was worried about putting it in my carry-on. I'm like, I don't want to put that in my carry-on.
I had it in my carry-on, dude, and they were like, "Can we have a word? Like, what is this?" Because it's like loads of wires and loads of like all the sensors and stuff. It looks like an insane Christmas tree in a vest.
I was wearing it when I walked through the metal detector. And 3 men tackled me.
They're like, he's got a flak vest on.
You probably look like a unit with it on as well. They were like, we need 3 of us to take this guy down. It looks like RoboCop.
I think I was in Neos, and I always wear my haptic vest in Neos. And my doorbell rang. It was like 11 o'clock at night. I'm like, oh, that's weird. And I just took off my headset and I ran to the door and I opened the door and it was the police. And then they saw that vest and they all grabbed their guns. And I'm like, yeah.
Zach Vest. This is me Haptics. Oh, that's the.
Have you guys ever gone to the airport with your headsets and they give you an issue with your headsets? Like, because I always bring my headset in my carry-on. I'll never put my headset like in my luggage.
Yeah, I mean,
so I always go through, and they've never, not once, like I don't ever take it out. I just leave it in the carry case, and they've never asked me what it is now once.
I'm sure they know what it is now, right?
But I traveled with this and my Go XLR when I went to Utah. They made me take every piece because I brought in my carry-on because I was not going to pack my Go XLR and this, and they made me take every piece of it out and inspect it.
Yeah, I've traveled with hardware a few different times, like since I've been working with Contact CI, I always have like a whole bag full of robotic gloves, and like no one ever says anything.
Yeah, but
like,
your TSA pre-check though. Yeah, you don't have to go through the normal rigmarole that.
Yeah, most of the time. But like, I actually traveled recently. I did a red-eye flight. It was like 1 a.m. And when I got there, like the whole TSA section of the TSA or the whole pre-check section of the TSA thing was just shut down.
That's bullshit.
Had to get in the regular line like everybody else. Yeah.
Hey, Skiba, Stephanie Masher has an excellent idea in chat. She says one of us, me, you, and Jasmine, need to bring each a piece of our PlayStation VR2 stuff. Like one person bring the console, one person bring the headset. I'll bring the
controllers.
I can fit these in my.
Dibs on the controllers.
I'm going to bring the smallest thing I can.
Let's do that for real. We got to get in the Switchback. We cannot not play that online.
I agree.
You can't be Switchback. That's going to be.
All right, we got to do it.
That's going to be crazy. I can't wait for Switchback. I think it's going to be so good. I think everyone's going to. Out of everyone in the world, Wes is the person I'm just so excited for him to actually be in there. It's been a long time. Do you know what I mean? When a game means that much to you, I know he's going to be like, what the hell?
That's what's really going to cement this launch, right? Because it does kind of feel like the early days again with all these great new games and the new hardware, but I need that Rush of Blood experience to kind of cement that feeling for me.
Roots too. I think Roots was one of the biggest fans of Rush of Blood. Like, I think that was like, he's a huge coaster fan, right? And I think that was one of your favorites.
Yeah. That was the one game that Wes and we would have just been happy with a remaster of the original.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
I would have
and
actually.
getting the sequel.
Yeah,
awesome.
I played the heck out of that game, man. Rush of Blood. I was all over that. I put 1 million people through that. Like, that was my go-to VR demo for a long time. And oddly enough, no one ever got sick in there, which is crazy.
That's
Like,
what I
no
was
one
thinking
ever
about.
like, yeah, it's so good. Switchback's gonna rock. I can't wait.
It is, dude. It's going to absolutely rock. Right, guys, I'm going to shut the show down early today. I do apologise, but I have not been well, and I'm starting to feel exceptionally unwell again. So thank you ever so much for everyone being here. And sorry, Wes, go for it.
I was just going to tell you to turn the brightness down a little bit. You'll be fine.
You'll be fine.
And we're way too bright here.
Dude.
I will commit die on all of you.
The Mura is making me feel bad.
Oh no.
Yeah, I'm not feeling great. But thank you. Like, this show's been amazing again, as always. As I said earlier, like I kind of think to myself, okay, we've got new games, we've got this thing we're not supposed to talk about anymore because everyone kicks off. What are we going to talk about? And we end up having like some of the best conversations. Undead Citadel, Sherzod. I just don't think people need to talk about that game for a little while. Interesting.
Until it's actually out.
Huh? Yeah.
Until it actually comes out. Yeah, I think that's a smart move.
I've got
That game's
like
been coming out for 4 years, it feels like.
So that's the problem. So someone said to me the other day, and I'm not restarting the show, but someone said to me the other day about Undead Citadel, and I've been following the guy for ages, and I played it like in 2019. I think we all got a demo on Steam, didn't we? Recent. Was it a year ago or something? And someone said to me, I'm not sure I even want to play anymore because of Hellsplit Arena, because of Swordsman VR, because of these other games now that have been out a long time and are basically going to do what that game is trying to do. And I don't know. I don't know how Undead Citadel, because it looks so great. I don't know how it's gonna land after all these years of development.
I want to call that the Lynx effect, right? Like, everyone in the world was like so stoked for the Lynx headset. Like, wow, it's going to do full color pass through mixed reality, and it's super thin and like has these crazy like little displays, and like now everyone's like, the what?
Yeah,
I'm literally thinking
that thing's
I
gonna be
almost
outdated
threw
as soon as
Lynx
it
under
gets
the
there.
bus when Brad was mentioning stuff earlier, because that's been my experience with Lynx. Every time I've gone to an event and I've tried it, there's been issues, and I'm like, hey, it was pretty cool, but these issues, and they're like, oh yeah, we're gonna have that worked out like for the next show or whatever. And I've tried that headset multiple times now, and I have honestly never been impressed. And I wasn't going to say that earlier, but
Yeah. Well,
there you go.
now the problem is now everything does that already. You know, you got the Quest Pro, you got the Pico 4, you got all these new headsets doing all
XR
the
Elite.
things Link does, and the Link
Beyond,
still isn't
big screen Beyond.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you guys think will come first, the Lo-Fi or Undead Citadel?
He literally spent his weekend making a Ghostbusters game and then had to get rid of it again. Like, I'm sitting there, I'm thinking, I'm really pleased you did that, but can you please just work on lo-fi?
Please.
Like, that'd be great.
Well, Lo-Fi just hit version 0.5, so we're halfway there.
Nice.
Oh my god. Quest 16, it'll be ready.
You know, I honestly, and this is the honestly how I feel about it. If it takes 2 years, take 2 more years. It just needs to be good when it gets here.
Well, there's
Right,
nothing
it
else
just needs
like
to
it
be
either,
good.
is there, really? That's the other thing. I think he knows that.
Here's the thing with me and his description of what this game is going to be. This would be such a game-changing co-op experience with friends. He's building a world. He's building a sandbox world full of stuff to do that you can only experience by yourself. And I'm sure it'll be amazing. My question is, how long before that wow factor wears off and you get tired of going fishing or playing in the arcade or racing on the racetrack? Like, if you could bring a friend in that with you, like that game would be evergreen. It would be awesome forever. but that's not what it is. So,
There's so many cool first like one player games that I'm always itching to get into and I never get to because all my friends are always like, hey, what are we getting into?
I know.
What are we
I
playing?
know.
And those single player games are just off the table, man. Like you have to be able to like, you know, get your squad in there and go play stuff together and share the experience. No one ever goes, hey, I'm going on vacation by myself. That's no fun. Like you can grab some and go with you, you know?
I know it.
Yeah, and you guys were talking about earlier, it just like to me, it's like more of a marketing issue than anything else. It's like, you know, kind of like Wes, you said if it takes 2 years, take 2 more. I would say something similar. It's like don't show anybody until you think it's done and then finish it, you know, because when you hear about a game for like a year and then a second year and then a third year, like if as far as your brain is concerned, it's already been out for this long. You know what I mean? Like the wait is not there anymore. The hype is gone. It's dead. And it's like by the time it finally rears its head, you're like, oh, this finally came out. Jesus. Like so much stuff has come and gone since I first heard or saw about this game, you know? And I know that not everybody's Nintendo because Nintendo is just popular. Like everybody likes Nintendo or whatever, but I wish more people would take a page out of their book and like do like a marketing thing, you know, kind of like the upload showcases where they're like announcing the DLC for this widely loved game that releases right now. Oh man, like everyone's like, no way, and everyone runs and gets to go and download it because they're like capitalizing on the hype of the announcement, which I think we see far too much in the VR space is the opposite of that, where they announce stuff way too early and they capitalize on nothing of the hype, and then by the time the game rolls around, nobody cares anymore.
I streamed lo-fi for the first time 3 years ago.
Oh my god.
wow.
That's crazy. And honestly, the startup sequence is still nigh on exactly the same as what it was with the car going down and the
Yeah.
bikes going vroom, vroom, and all that stuff. And even though, honestly, it still amazes me. It still amazes me. If someone said we
Me
already have
too.
LON, and yeah, I did a preview on LON, and I do need to go back into that because I know they worked really hard on it.
Lon's good. It's
Yeah,
actually
Lon's a
really
good
good.
game. Yeah, they did a lot of work on that. So welcome to CruCast 2.0, everybody. What else do you guys got?
Oh, wait, Lon,
I wanna
another
say,
one that's coming to PSVR 2 at some point. So
Yeah. Did you see Desperate Vladivostok made it to PSVR 2? I'm like, that is just an odd game, I thought, to just get on there that fast.
What game's that?
It's called Desperate Vladivostok. It had a quest release
Never heard of it.
not too long ago, right, Wes? Was it like a month or 2 months ago?
yeah, it was a couple, you know, maybe 3 months ago. What it is it's the it's what became. I don't know if you guys remember this game from Maryland that they revealed a couple years ago called RU-77, like a cyberpunk shooter game with cell shaded graphics, and it dropped off the map for years. And then over the course of the last year, it kind of resurfaced, and now there was it got like fragmented into 2 different games. Federation 77, which came out on Steam, and then this Desperate Vladivostok, which is more focused on Quest and PlayStation VR.
I mean, not being funny. How did someone search up the name of that game? Like, how would you
Right.
like, for me personally, if I made a game, I want people to know how to fucking spell it. To
Yeah,
find it.
you
So-
just said it 3 times and I still
it's
I
don't
know,
like-
remember
I
it.
want to type it.
Yeah,
I'm
I'm
not
like,
fucking
what
clue
is
what
it?
you're saying. What's it
Yeah.
called?
I think it's
just-
Vladivostok or something.
It's just an odd
Vladivostok.
thing to see in my library. Like I'm looking at all these games in my PlayStation VR2 library, and I'm like, Desperate Vladivostok for all the games that are out there.
Dude,
Could
if
have
you
made it,
don't
and it's
say
already
it,
made it.
2 times slower than that, Eric, I'm gonna lose
Yep.
it. 'Cause it just sounds like you're going desperate. That's what it sounds
It's
like.
Desperate
to me.
Vladivostok.
What?
Vladivostok.
That's still
Desperate Housewives of VR.
Vlad.
VLAD.
Okay. Okay.
Vostok.
Oh, that game. Okay.
It's not a bad game. It's
I like
not
the
a
look of the art.
good
style.
game.
I like the look of the art style.
It's
okay.
it's scene based. It's a scene based wave shooter. So it's there's no movement in it whatsoever. You just get placed in the scenes and you have to kind of fight your way through each one. I think there's like 50 different levels or something like that. And there's an arena mode.
Isn't there a name for that already? Isn't it called Wave Shooter? Is it not that?
It's
Yeah,
like
I
super,
mean,
it's
yeah.
super hot, kind of.
I'm looking around. Actually, there is a lot of videos on it already, but none of them have looked like they particularly picked up Any
I
particular...
think the moral of the story is they should have stuck with RU-77.
Exactly.
There you go.
I don't know, man. Yeah, I kind of done my head in. But yeah, thank you ever so much for everyone who joined for the small second part of the show. Thank you to all you guys for being here as always. Is there anything you want to add? Anything you're playing at the moment that you want to share? Now's
One
good.
Are
last
you
thing.
trying to end this?
Oh, Brad's got something.
One final thing. There's a new world that released this week in VR chat. It's an Omegle simulator, and you can go into a public world and it gives you your own little tiny house. And then on the computer, it will randomly match you with another person in their own tiny house. And it's like
Wow.
a Omegle thing. And it's hilarious because like everyone's doing wild things. You can take the web camera into your bathroom and like do like hot tub. Like it's really funny. Recommend it. Yeah.
What's it called?
Just Omegle. Just go into VR chat.
So hold on.
It's
Right.
hilarious.
Omegle?
So it's Omegle in VR chat. So your virtual self in your virtual house,
Yeah.
virtually chatting to other people in their virtual houses and virtual
Yeah.
avatars.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
it's really funny because some people would be like meme avatars, like VR chat is, and you'll just like be randomly paired with like a Snicker bar that's like gurgling water under the tub or something. Like it's great. It's good
I
stuff.
want to see Hagrid 64 in there, dude. Like he's my favorite. I love seeing that guy in there. I remember the first time I went in there, he was like a Russian guy. He was like, I've got something very special to show you. I was like, wow, okay, Hagrid 64. And he was like, are you ready? You ready? I went, yeah, go on then. And he done a backflip. I was like, that's fucking impressive. Like, oh dear. Thank you to everyone in the chat for being here. Really appreciate it. Thank you for being here for episode 5. And thank you to all you guys as well for the amazing conversation as always.
Hell yeah. It was a pleasure.
Hell yeah.
This is great.
Always a good time.
Highlight of my Mondays.
I look forward to it every Monday.
Heck yeah, bring something good to a Monday. That's awesome.
Oh,
Spread that shit all over Monday. That's what it's all about. Yeah, so I'm trying to think what is coming out this week, what we'll be talking about next week. I'm trying to figure that out because for some reason in my head I thought Switchback was much more far away than it is, but it's not. I think what have we got? Peaky Blinders.
Yep.
Is anyone actually hyped for Peaky
Last
Blinders? The Last Worker, I think, is at the end of the month.
Mm.
Is anyone here excited for Peaky Blinders?
I'm not. Was not a fan of the show, and I don't know. It just doesn't look great to me.
I've never
I
seen
thought-
it. I don't really care about it either.
When they demoed the game here a few months back, I thought it looked much better than I was expecting. So at that time, I was kind of hyped for it. But today, now that I've got, my new headset, my new platform, and all this library, it's not the best time for me in Peaky Blinders. Like it would have been better a month ago.
Yeah, that's tough, man. It is tough. I feel that about quite a few Quest titles at the moment. There's one coming out called Ghost Signal, a Stellaris adventure, and I helped play test that game, and I really, really like it. But I think it's quite a personal game. I don't think it's a great game to show people. I don't think it's a great on a screen, if you know what I'm saying.
Right.
But yeah, I just think these games are going to be like somehow a little bit buried for a little while, Because
Skiva, Presentiment of Death. Tell us. I saw you on. I saw you on
the like super hot clone.
Yeah, that one.
Pretty cool. I mean,
Yeah.
I think it's pretty cool. I like it's got some really cool mechanics, right? It's almost like super hot. Everything's kind of in slow motion, and you can they're shooting arrows at you, and you can almost like catch them and like do some really cool little tricks and stuff, and it's really pretty. I think it's fun. It's pretty fun.
I'm just reading
Thank you.
Brad's comment. Brad, you put your hand up like when you were at school. What was the problem earlier?
I don't remember.
You haven't touched your hair. I've not noticed it at all, man. So obviously
I got it covered. It's good.
Looks good.
We're good.
you're looking good,
Good.
dude. You're
Good.
looking good. I'm loving it.
Skiva and Mash. We're gonna be
Yes.
in Austin
Yes.
next week.
Yes, we are. Let's do the show.
So yeah, there's like a good chance that we're not gonna do it, right?
Yeah, the next couple weeks we will be gone. We'll be in Austin for one CruCast, and then the next CruCast that comes up will be at GDC in San Francisco.
Are you gonna stay on the show? You still gonna do the show while you're away?
I'm saying no. personally.
No, maybe me and Mash will like fire it up from the hotel room or something. I don't know. What do you think?
Do it.
If you-
I'm gonna
if you
have
guys-
my. I'll have my webcam. I'll have my laptop with me.
If
we
you
can
guys
do
are
it.
planning on doing something while we're in Texas, well, we can talk about that. But typically, I think it's the juice isn't worth the squeeze. Bye, Brad.
Oh,
Brad.
he actually done it. For
Oh,
fuck's
Brad's
sake.
like, fucking, I'm out.
Right, we're gonna go. Everyone on the audio version will benefit, but yeah, no worries. And Brad did delayed. It was the chat's delayed by 15 seconds. So your countdown is irrelevant. Right. Thank you, everyone in chat. Thank you ever so much. Look after yourselves. Please subscribe and like. Cause I never ask for that. I always forget. And I will see you, and we will all see you next week. Take care. Thank you.
Later.
Bye. 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 Bye.
Mura.
Bye.
Mura.
Yeah, Mira.